He is a native of Lagos State, Nigeria, and a 150th Fellow of the Royal Commonwealth Society (RCS) in the UK. He holds a B.Tech degree with first-class honors in biology from the Federal University of Technology, Akure, FUTA, in Nigeria 2010, and went on to win the prestigious Commonwealth Scholarship twice. The awards enabled him acquire his M.Sc degree with distinction in Sustainable Environmental Management at the Natural Resource Institute (NRI), University of Greenwich, UOG, UK in 2013, and also a Ph.D. degree in Environmental Geochemistry and Geomicrobiology from the University of Manchester, UOM, UK in 2019. He's currently a lecturer specializing in ecotoxicology, environmental management in the Environmental Biology and Public Health Unit in the Department of Biology, FUTA. In August 2019, he was appointed as the Secretary of the Academic Board of the department. He is also a mentor for the Commonwealth Scholarship Alumni Network, Project CAMP, and the Yali RLC West Africa region. He is an astute academic with a penchant for excellence. He clearly demonstrated by earning himself the Pioneer Recipient Award for the Best M.Sc thesis on the Sustainable Environmental Management Program at the NRI UOG UK for 2012 to 2013 session. He was also a three-time judge from 2013 to 2015 for the Queen's Commonwealth Essay Competition organized by the RCS, and once worked as a general marker for Pearson UK, a global educational company, in 2017. In addition, his PhD research focused on arsenic mobilization in drinking aquifers, produced novel in situ techniques for groundwater arsenic studies, which became fundamentally useful for the execution of a UK-funded arsenic project in Cambodia worth about €600,000. A deployment vessel he developed was sunk into Cambodian aquifers in May 2019 for arsenic work, and today attested to be successful in retrieving arsenic mobilizing agents for further analysis in the lab. A public communication of his novel technique earned him the Best Poster Presentation Award at the annual Postgraduate Research Conference of the School of Earth and Environmental Sciences, UOM UK, in December 2018. Since 2012, he has guided, counseled hundreds of mentees on the procedures of winning international scholarships, particularly in Europe and America. In 2017, he created a Facebook page, The Shoulders of Giants (TSG), where he shares scholarship opportunities and invites senior scholars for a question and answer series with over 1,200 followers on the page. In January 2018, he founded Illumini, an online educational business and environmental consulting platform which provides services such as dissertation, thesis, and essay coursework, writing guidance, scholarship application mastery, CV restructuring, personal statement review, career counseling, data analysis, research/business proposal writing, and environmental impact assessment (EIA) at affordable consultation fees. Illumini currently boasts of 37 consultants. Interestingly, in the last 2.5 years of its establishment, Illumini has produced about 95 international scholarship winners from about 150 clients, a success rate of 63%, attracting over $4.2 million in scholarship gains. In September 2019, he was invited by the British Council Nigeria to a two-man panel on UK scholarship orientation session for the 2019 Study UK Fair held in Lagos, Nigeria, attended by over 600 guests. In October 2019, he launched the International Scholarship Mastery Bootcamp (ISMB) as a social responsibility program under Illumini to train final year undergraduate postgraduate students on how to assess international postgraduate scholarships. Last year, 300 students from 3 Nigerian universities, FUTA, University of Ibadan, and the Afebabalola University were trained. Despite coronavirus ravaged 2020, 10 other universities have remained resolute to host the event in 2021. Ladies and gentlemen, please make welcome Dr. Babajide Milton Macaulay.
Screen.
Okay, yeah.
Okay. So, Dr. Babajide, sorry. You have the floor, sir.
Okay, so just walk with me, yeah? Since you're
Yes.
the one handling my screen now. Thank you. Okay, so today I'll be speaking on academic influence and leadership, and I apologize for the little glitch we had before starting now. So before I go into academic influence and leadership proper, I will first of all give you a summarized version of the story of my life, because without that, you won't understand where I come in when it comes to influence and leadership and how I'm able to use myself as a good example here. So let's go. Next slide, please. Thank you. So it started off in 2010 when I graduated from the Federal University of Technology, Akure, FUTA, Southwest Nigeria in 2010. I studied biology. I was fortunate to graduate with a first class. And afterwards, I went for 1 year mandatory service to Kebbi. I was flung to Kebbi State, Nigeria to serve. And I was a biology teacher at a government secondary school there called Bunza Secondary School at Bunza local government area in Kebbi State. I was there and I served for my NYSC. I did my NYSC there. And I taught SS1A to E, SS2A to E, SS3A to C. I did everything. And I was wondering where the resident class teacher, the biology teacher, should be. Well, he didn't show up. I had to do all the work, but I didn't mind anyway. And after that, I was recruited by my university as a graduate assistant in the Department of Biology in FUTA in 2012. That's a picture of my mom and myself during my convocation in 2010. Next slide, please. So after I graduated and finished my NYSC at Kebbi, I decided applying for scholarships. And in the midst of doing my NYSC, that was, I would say 2011, around say March, because I started in February. Around March, I had started my search for scholarships. And I bought myself a little Dell laptop then. And then I took it to the north with me. There was only one spot in the north where I could access internet during that period. And I was lucky because that particular location was actually in my school compound where I was teaching. But in the daytime, the place is always, filled up with people, jam-packed. So I would wait till 10 p.m. when everyone has gone home, then go there with my laptop, plug it in, and start my application. I applied to 25 universities across the globe, to United Kingdom, South Africa, US. I even wrote the GRE twice. Canada, Australia, India, Belgium, Iceland, yes. Norway, South Africa, Taiwan, Austria, even Nigeria. So at some point, there was a lot of demand on me to have my master's because my university gave me 2 years to get my master's, or else I'll lose my job. So there was a lot of demand on me to get my master's, and as a should I say, backup in case something goes wrong internationally, I decided to start off my postgraduate application with the University of Ibadan, but I didn't complete it. Anyway, I was shortlisted for the exam because you write an entry exam, but I didn't complete it because the day they were to write the exam, I was already in the UK. Now, these are some scholarships on your right. Some scholarships I attempted and I failed, a lot of them. The Commonwealth, I tried about 9 of them. I lost 8. It was the very last one that I won. So in the end, without a mentor to guide me, I lost 23. 23 out of 25, and I eventually won the last 2. Next slide, please. Okay, so in July 2012, I won the first one, which is the London Metropolitan Postgraduate Scholarship for an M.Sc degree in biomedical science at London Metropolitan University, LMU, UK. Now, that's the picture of, from left to right, you have Mr. Niyi Babajide. That was the Commissioner for Science and Technology, Lagos State. He was invited to the event in Lagos. They actually, now, LMU actually came down to Nigeria to honor myself and Ayoride. Now, if you look at the second text there, it says Ayoride from Nigeria, Bassam, Tariq from Pakistan, then we have a Jamaican, myself from Nigeria, we have a Filipino, we have a Russian, Argentine, and so on. So you discover from that list of 9 winners that were selected that year for the LMU scholarship, you discover that there are only 2 Africans, and they were Nigerians. So, and it was the first time that Nigerians would be winning it, the first time. And then there were 2 on the list. So they had to come down to Nigeria to honor us, myself and Rufai. Rufai graduated from the University of Lagos, by the way. So it's a tuition-free scholarship, so we had to cater for living costs and flight fees, worth 3 million naira. Immediately after the event, I started talking to the commissioner, telling him that, well, I'm a son of the soil, you guys should support me. So he said, okay, don't worry, I'll speak to the governor. During the period, Babatunde Raji Fashola was the governor, and he said he was going to speak with him. Fortunately, he actually did speak with him, and I got an official writing from the government of Lagos State telling me, because I'm from Lagos State, by the way, telling me that they are proud of me and everything I've done. However, they do not have the funds to support me. I was looking for 3 million. With all the trillions they get, I was actually brokenhearted because I felt like I had done so much and I supposed to have gotten the support that I was asking for. But somehow they were telling me they didn't have the money, they didn't have the funds. So I had to look for an alternative. And that got me stuck. Next slide, please. Yeah, so in August 2012, fate smiled on me. While I was a bit confused with what I was going to do earlier, fate smiled on me in August when, after losing 8 Commonwealth Shared Scholarship positions that I applied for, the very last one that I applied to, which is to the University of Greenwich, to study sustainable environmental management at the Natural Resources Institute, NRI. That was the one that eventually worked out. Now, the funny thing about this one that I won is that the university picked 7 people, for the scholarship, just 7. And there were 1 Pakistani, 2 Nigerians, and 4 Ghanaians. Extremely competitive, extremely. The 2 Nigerians, myself and Sophia, another Nigerian. And so I was so lucky and blessed to have gotten this. And it was the very last one, the very, very last one. And that was how I got an international scholarship to support my funding abroad. Next slide, please. Okay, so, no, you need to go back. Can you go back? Can you go back one more step? Can you go back one more step, please? Yes, here, okay. So, yes, this one. Thank you. So, when I got to the University of Greenwich in London, I spent a year. It was an extremely demanding experience. It was my first time in the UK. The standard of education is quite different from where I was coming from. Despite all the challenges I faced, I was fortunate to make a distinction, and I also emerged as the pioneer recipient of the best M.Sc project. That image in the middle is the certificate I got with a cash prize of £100 in 2013 then. That was worth around 30K then in Naira. In 2013, I would say, yeah. Now, that other image you see myself bound to a man in a robe, that's Professor David Mcguire. I think he is still the Vice Chancellor of the University of Greenwich. I was receiving a special handshake from him because of the award I received, Best Project Award on my program. And then on the right side here is the image of myself and my supervisor, Dr. Debbie Rees. She was extremely proud of me. Without her assistance, I would never have gotten that award. I was the pioneer recipient of that award in 2013. She was extremely supportive, taught me everything I know about academic and research writing. And then I returned to my employer in Nigeria in 2013, FUTA, after I bagged my master's, and I was promoted to the position of assistant lecturer. Next slide. Okay, so after getting my master's and I got back to Nigeria, I worked for 2 good years before I eventually left for my PhD. But that's not the story. Let me tell you the real story. The real story is that within the 2 years, I was contacting supervisors globally. I wrote over 60 academics in foreign universities across the globe. And lots of them will not respond. I didn't know what I was doing wrong. But along the line, I discovered that my emails were too long. So I was learning on the job, without real guidance. I was learning. And then I remembered that I applied to several countries: UK, South Africa, Canada, Australia, Thailand, Hong Kong, Spain, Italy. The list is endless. I just had to keep it short here. Now, but particularly in 2014, I thought I was cursed. I thought I was actually cursed because I had 4 opportunities that I got to the final stage, but I lost them. The very, should I say, painful, extremely painful one was the one that I got to Australia, but I couldn't follow through because of Ebola that struck us in 2014 when Patrick Sawyer, who contracted the disease earlier in Liberia, took a trip to Nigeria, killing 8 people. You see, this particular experience was so painful because suddenly my contacts in Australia just shut down and they stopped talking to me. The moment we got Ebola into the country, thanks to Patrick, they just stopped talking to me. I just lost everything. They didn't talk to me. I was writing emails. And later on, I discovered that Australia had blacklisted Nigeria and put them onto the list of countries to avoid because of the Ebola crisis we had. And I understood clearly why they just stopped talking to me. Even my supervisor that had accepted me stopped talking to me till this day. And it was extremely painful. But in 2015, can you go to the next slide, please? In 2015, fate smiled on me again. And then I finally won the Commonwealth Ph.D. scholarship. I was winning the Commonwealth for the 2nd time. And this was a miracle because before I applied for this at 2nd attempt, I had spoken to a lot of people who told me that, no, you can't win the Commonwealth twice. Once you win it, that's it. They won't want to give you twice because they want other people to win. That's just a lie from the pit of hell. I don't even know where it came from. I don't even know those spreading it. But it was so popular among people, like they were always saying it. I just went on and I applied. And I'm amongst the very few people who have won the Commonwealth twice. And that's a privilege, a very, very big one. And I won it in 2015 for a PhD degree in environmental geochemistry and geomicrobiology at the University of Manchester. And that's a picture of me at the back of it was an event in London for the Commonwealth Scholars. And the other one is myself in the lab carrying out some research on arsenic, or arsenic, as we like to say in Nigeria. And the other picture is after 4 good years, 2019, when I finished my PhD, and I was surrounded by my research partners and colleagues celebrating me for finishing the task. Now, in 2019, July, I returned to Nigeria to my employer, where I was promoted to the position of lecturer 2. Now, also, before I end the story about myself, I need to talk about the impact I've made personally with a business of mine that I started off in 2018. Now, before I started Illumania, I had been helping people out with scholarships since 2012 to 2018. That's around 6 years, span of 6 years, helping out with people the best I could. It wasn't just about the scholarship. I also help out with dissertation. I won't write it for you. That's illegal, that's unethical, that's unprofessional. I will guide you through it, review your documents, go through your dissertation and tell you where I think you should improve or where you should adjust or if something is wrong. Now, the very funny thing here is that I was also helping people that are not even in my field. If you're in finance, you are in law, I actually help people in law. You'll be surprised. I read LLM dissertations. Yes, I did. Because the thing about understanding dissertations is that you don't need to be an expert in it. In fact, that I was a non-expert was the real deal. Now, if I do not understand your work, then you have written something terribly bad. I should be able to understand your work. And that was why I was able to review these documents, even though I wasn't an expert in their disciplines. And I did them so excellently well, to the extent that some of my colleagues then that I assisted all had distinction scores. And then during my birthday in 2017, July, a trip to Spain was where they informed me that, look, you can't continue like this. You need to commercialize this space, and you need to, because the gift of a man maketh way for him. And so you need to see this as a gift. You need to think finance now. Sadly, before that period, my financial intelligence was extremely low. I was only very good in academics, but I thank God for the kind of people I was around with, and then they were able to counsel me right. And then Illumania was born January 2018, and it's been waxing stronger ever since. It's an online educational consulting firm. Can you please go back to the slide? Yes, thank you very much. I'll let you know when I want you to move on. It's an online educational consulting outfit. We provide academic support to student, graduates, and business professionals. And so far, now we offer a lot of services. Now, there are 9 of them actually. Dissertation, as I said, CV restructuring, data analysis, personal statement. Now, a whole lot, about 9 of them. If you visit our website, you'll see them all there. However, there is a particular one that was the most sought after, the most patronized, which is scholarship application lens, because everyone wants to win a scholarship to better their lives abroad. And so I am isolating that here to say that so far Illumina has produced 90 scholarship winners to 5 continents of the world to pursue master's and PhD studies, attracting over $5 million US in scholarship gains. Not my money, it's scholarship gains. All right, next slide, please. Okay, so in late 2019, I was invited by the British Council in Nigeria to a 3-man panel to discuss UK scholarships with an audience of 600 guests, and it was a huge success. Now, that image that you are looking at is the image from the British Council saying thank you in appreciation for everything I did on that day. It was a fantastic event, I must say. Now, they recognized Illumania and recognized the impact that I was making. That was the reason why I was invited. And I was extremely grateful for that recognition from such a top-tier organization. Next slide. And so currently, I specialize in environmental toxicology and pollution management at FUTA. And recently, I was appointed as the secretary of the academic board of the Department of Biology. I'm the youngest to hold that office. And I am also an educational consultant leading Illumania. and fulfilling the objectives of SDG 4, which is quality education for all. Currently, I'm looking forward to taking up a postdoctoral fellowship in academia and collaborating to scale up Luminia's impact. So that's what I'm currently doing. So next slide. Let's now go proper into academic leadership and influence. First, I want to start off with what it means to me. Now, because this can be defined in several ways to different people, but I want to tell you what academic influence and leadership means to me. Now, it means using your brilliance, intelligence, skills, knowledge, or research to drive real developmental change in society. If you look at this image, you'd see that that's partially a light bulb saying, Eureka, I found it, I've discovered it, and partially a brain, which means that it's from your brain that you start thinking about how to bring about the change, and then that's the source of developmental change. First, you must be concerned about a problem in society. You must be empathetic. Something must worry you. Something must make you think about helping, helping others. Then you must be irritated by mediocrity. You must be irritated by disorganization. You must be irritated by, a wrong approach to doing things. You must be irritated by your environment, especially if it is not the way it should be. And then you must be altruistic. That means you must be sacrificial in nature. You must be thinking about others as you think about yourself. Now, if you look at the middle ground there, you discover that that intermediary stage is what? Personal responsibility and what? Action. After you must have been tuned up by the concern in society, it should quicken or waken up a sense of personal responsibility in you. And that should make you take action. And that's the process. When you take action, that should then lead to developmental change. The outcome should be something that is measurable. And then you must be able to identify the beneficiaries. That's exactly what academic influence and leadership means to me. Next slide. Okay, now, let me explain to you quickly how I have influenced my academic space, because I need to also speak from a place of leadership, which is that I am practicing what I preach. I won't just sit down here and be making noise. I need to tell you or show you that I have actually done what I'm asking you to do, and it's been successful. So first of all is the concern, just as I said in the previous slide. What's the concern in society? So one way I was able to influence my academic space was that I discovered that there was a concern. Nigeria has no federal law specifically for the management of medical waste as done in developed nations. So if you do not have a federal law regarding medical waste management, what do we have? What do we have is existing laws on municipal waste management. That's what we have. And this municipal waste management, they are what? The laws guiding them are too limited to address the high risk of medical waste. And so there was a need to have a special law, a set-aside regulation, legislation for medical waste management and disposal. This is exactly what is done in developed nations, including the UK and the US and the likes of them. But we lacked it in Nigeria. So I got concerned. Now, what's the justification? The justification for this work is that 75% of medical waste contain non-risk components, while 25% make up hazardous components, WHO, 2004-2007. Now, you might say 25%, oh, it's not a lot. Oh, when you look at the composition, you would see that you should be scared. Hazardous composition or components are 1, sharps, e.g., needles, infectious waste like blood-stained items like your cotton wools and the likes, pathological waste like surgically removed human parts after, let's say, a major operation, radioactive waste from X-ray rooms when you go check your lungs and so on. So all these wastes, they are dangerous, extremely dangerous and hazardous. And you will be stunned to know that we just dispose them like other municipal kitchen waste or household waste. And these are supposed to be treated specially. So I took action. There was a high sense of personal responsibility on my part, and I took action. That's the process. So how did I take action? I assessed the medical waste management practices of 10 randomly selected healthcare centers in Akure. And then I also collaborated with one of my undergraduate project students called Frank Odiasi. So I told him, this is the project you are going to be working on. Let's see how hospitals in Akure are managing their healthcare waste or medical waste. Next slide, please. So this is the process. And then these images you are looking at are images that will shock you. Loads and loads of hospitals in Akure. In fact, I would say 9 out of 10 of the hospitals that we surveyed during the research showed that they were disposing their medical waste in a very nonchalant way. The bins will get filled to the brim and fall over, and then you have strong winds blow them onto roadside. People can even step onto the needles and injure themselves. Infected needles. You know, it was really crazy in the real sense of the word. And so after the entire work, I ensured that the work was published. You can see on your right, that's the published work. It was published in International Journal of Environment and Waste Management. And you can see that I did not steal Frank's work like many academics do these days. They steal the works of their students. Frank is well mentioned there, as he should. This is a big issue in academia, especially in Nigeria and some parts of developing countries of the world, where academics steal the jobs of their students. I'm emphasizing this because if you are an academic listening to me, you need to stop it because it is so unprofessional, illegal. If he picks it up against you, you can lose your job. Next slide, please. Okay, so after doing that, we did something that was impactful. Now, what other academics would normally do without considering societal impact or developmental impact is that after publishing, that's the end of it. They just wait and cite the paper whenever they're going for the next promotion, just because you know you always need all these papers to move to the next rank in academia. So you say, yes, I've published 3 papers, I've published 5 papers. But how about the developmental impact? To show leadership and influence in society. Because you can't talk about being a leader if there's no impact. So how about the impact? No one, or should I say, just a few academics think about this, but we decided to think about it. So what did we do? We did not just publish the paper, we took sections of our findings and we visited the Ondo State Ministry of Environment. You can see that section there where we acknowledged the Deputy Director of that ministry, Mr. Oladipo Obanoye, at that time. I don't know if he's still the one there now, but he was so accommodating. When we showed him our findings, he was shocked. In fact, he was looking like he did not know that that was happening with the, healthcare centers we have in Akure. He was looking like he didn't know. And so when he saw that, he was like, okay, guys, no problem. I'm going to look into this and I will ensure that Ondo State would have a law against medical waste management and disposal. I actually thought he was joking until I communicated with him in 2017 and I discovered that there was already a bill in the Ondo State House of Assembly on medical waste management. And he was the one lobbying and pushing to ensure that it becomes law. Currently, I think that it's been passed in the House. I think it's the governor now that needs to sign it off into law. I'm not sure if it has been done because I've been away from the country for so long. But now that I'm back, I intend to reach out to him and find out the outcome. But the acceleration that they used, in pushing this bill, it looked to me like they actually meant business. So I won't be shocked if we already have a state law addressing medical waste management in Ondo State. And this is important because where there is no law, there is no sin. So now that there is a law, you can prosecute. And by the time you threaten prosecution with some of these healthcare centers, they will sit upright and do the right thing. Now, on this right side is the image of Frank Odiase. I'm so proud of him because he is now doing his second master's in Germany. And I was very happy to write him a reference letter explaining his impact during the project, as well as how he was able to contribute to improving healthcare waste management in Ondo State. I also mentioned that he has published the paper alongside myself, and this was helpful in him getting a fully funded position in Germany. That is a beneficiary of all the impact of this work when it started. Frank is a direct beneficiary. Now, by the time this bill becomes law, the entire state of Ondo will become beneficiaries of this impact, that we were able to kick off the moment I discovered the concern in society. And that is what leadership and influence is all about. Next slide, please. Okay, so quickly, I'm rounding off. I'm coming to an end because I know my time is fast spent. Nerds versus potential leaders. I must tell you quickly the raw truth that scholarship sponsors are now drawn to intelligent individuals with proven leadership and voluntary experiences. They are no longer just interested in your CGPA. Oh, I made a first class. And so what? And so what? What else do you have? What else have you done? Did you volunteer? Who did you lead? They are not interested in what you have done for yourself. They are now interested in what you have done for others, for your society. Scholarship sponsors are now more careful, more critical. And this is why on their forms, so I took example of 3 major elite scholarships that we know. Commonwealth, for example, the one I won twice. That form has got 11 essays. And you will discover that there are only 2 essays out of the 11 where candidates are told to write 500 words. The others are 250 or below. And they are personal statements and leadership and voluntary experience. Do you know why? Because they want to read from you. What else? What else? They want to know what you've done for others, for your society, without considering just yourself. Because a first class is to yourself. Volunteering is to your society. And this is the reason they are now more particular. That's why they are looking for 500 words. Right. We want to hear from you. So if you go blank, that means you have a first class, but you have nothing to say about your impact on society. And that means you are not a typical candidate for the Commonwealth Scholarship. Another thing here is that the scholarship form, the beginning part of the form focuses on development impact. There are 4 essays there. You discover that they'll be asking you how you intend to measure the impact and who will benefit from that work. What are they saying? They're trying to see whether you are thinking long term. Whatever I'm studying now, what will be the direct impact on society and who will benefit? You need to start thinking like that because that's the only way you even attract these scholarships. Let's look at number 2, Mastercard Foundation Scholarship. Some of the essays require candidates like to UBC, to Edinburgh, those ones, they will ask you, what projects in your community are you involved in? Tell us what project. Then they will also say, how will this masters that you intend to apply for, how will you use the knowledge gained to effect societal change? They expect you to write 300 words, 250 words. Oh yeah, right. If you have nothing to talk about, you don't know how that M.Sc in public health will solve a developmental crisis, then you are not the candidate they are looking for. Number 3, Erasmus Mundus Scholarship. You see, candidates here will be told to submit something called probably an SOP or an LOM, a statement of purpose or a letter of motivation. Most of the time, the programs will ask you that in your SOP or LOM, you must talk about your career plans. And if you are talking about your career plan and it does not involve solving a developmental problem, showing that there is a problem, and then I'm studying this course so that I can contribute to solving the problem, my dear, you will not be considered. So you can see clearly that even scholarship sponsors are looking for leaders and influencers in academia so that they can support them, because these are the people that drive real developmental change in society. So that the whole money, all the thousands and hundreds of thousands of pounds and dollars that they are spending on people every year, millions that they spend every year, will not go to waste, because they want to see it transform into evidential impact in the future. Next slide, please. Okay, so I guess this is probably my penultimate slide. This is my penultimate slide, and we'll be done. Mistakes young people make when attempting to exert influence. Number 1, they want to be everywhere. Take note, only weeds grow everywhere. Only weeds grow everywhere, and that is why they become a nuisance. And that's why they get the name weed. And the funny thing is that a valuable item can become a weed the moment it grows somewhere not needed. So don't attempt to be everywhere, because it means you are striving to become a weed. You must be strategic in everything you do. Where you need to be, what you want to do, you must be strategic. Don't be everywhere. 2, they want to access everything. I know we are in the information age where access to information is so easy, but then take note, you may suffer from information overload, because there are loads of information everywhere. In fact, sometimes contradicting. So what are you supposed to do? You are supposed to understand what you want to get, go straight at what you need, take it from the pool of all kinds of stuff, and get out of there. Get out of that vicinity and move on. Don't keep trying to pick. Before you know what's going on, everything will be fascinating. Okay, this is so beautiful. Oh, that looks good. Oh, that is so good. Oh, that one is so impressive. Oh, that is so fascinating. Oh, that is so incredible. And then you are stuck in one spot, and you would be more confused than you were before you went there to access the information. Number 3, they seek for public validation. This is so common on social media pages. Look, if you're a leader, true and true, you are supposed to show people the way, not the other way around. You are supposed to know something that the public doesn't know. And so you are supposed to be educating, inspiring, enlightening, elevating. That's what you're supposed to be doing. So if you are looking to the public to give you motivation, or to lead you, or to show you the way, or to tell you how to act or do, or to tell you what value system to adopt, then you are not a leader, so to speak, and you are not an influencer in every true sense of that word. Number 4, they feel the pressure or burden to keep up. Now, this is also very common in this day and age. Take note, you are not superhuman. If you need to take a break to focus on your life, please do. Take a break. No one will give you a trophy for coming online every day. No one will give you a trophy for being influential on social media every day and gathering followers. No one will give you a trophy. Instead, take care of your mental health. If you need to have a break, take a break. If you need to pause, pause. It is absolutely fine. because we are still humans at the core of everything. Number 5, always in a hurry to scale. They are always in a hurry. You see, I've also discovered over time of associating with young people that they can't stay in one place for long. They are here for 1 year, they want to be off onto something else, something else, something else. And sometimes it even makes your CV looks bad, because the next employer will look at your CV and will be wondering, why is it that you've worked with 6 firms in 3 years? Like, what is chasing you? Why are you running up and down? Like we used to say in my place, why are you running kaba, 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 kaba? You know, what is chasing you exactly? Can you just be calming down? As we used to say, be calming down and take it easy. Because, take note, irreversible growth in biology, as we used to say, is cellular and gradual. That is why it is irreversible. You will never go down, you will never diminish if you take your time to grow. It is where you just try to go to the top rather than growing to the top. That is when you can find yourself at the bottom again very quickly, as quick as you went to the top. But if you take your time, your taproot system will find water. It will be firm. It will be rigid to the ground. You'll be immovable. And then over time, you can be tagged an expert because you've spent years understanding the concept of something. And then when they're talking about that thing, your name will always come up. Just as I've spent years and years in academia, not just teaching and doing research, but also consulting and ensuring that I give wings to the dreams of young people to study abroad. Next slide. Take home, last slide. Stop thinking only about yourself. Stop thinking only about yourself. Start thinking about society. Start thinking about how to make impact. Let the problems around you, let them bother you. Be uncomfortable with disorganization. Feel uncomfortable. Don't join the system. Don't just blend in. Don't blend in. Be uncomfortable with disorganization. Let the problems motivate you. Don't let them discourage you or frustrate you. Let them motivate you into action. Understand your role in development as a citizen. Understand your role so that you can have a sense of personal responsibility. Understand that you have a role as a citizen to bring change and to drive developmental change. Take action. Don't just pay lip service to everything. Oh, I'm going to do something. I will, but you never act. I intend to, okay, it is my intention to, I want to, I will, oh, okay, I intend, okay, I want to, I will, but you never do. But you never, everything is I will. You need to take action. It is fine if in the beginning it looks like everything is sketchy, it's not clear. You just start, and you'll be stunned by what is going to happen as you take further steps ahead. Collaborate, just like this GSS 2020. It's a product of collaboration, and that is why you guys are enjoying all these, valuable information from very, very knowledgeable speakers, 10 of us. So this is an example. It's a product of collaboration. You can't do it alone. Contribute, make effort, make out time, contribute. Don't think that you don't have anything to give. You can give your time. Your time is valuable. Consider the impact of your work. Consider, when you always consider the impact of your work, it will help you put things in perspective. Identify the beneficiaries. This would also help you know the scope and reach of your work. Identify the beneficiaries. And lastly, find fulfillment in what you do. Because it's fulfillment that is like that oil in the engine that would make the engine run perpetually in perpetuity. It will continue to run. And people will be wondering, what is driving this guy? Why is he always everywhere? He's in Kano today, he's in Ondo tomorrow, he's in Ibadan next week. What is driving this guy? Where is he finding the strength? It is that sense of fulfillment you get each time you hit impact and then you see it materialize in front of you. Just as the way I feel each time I look at Frank and he's doing so well in Germany, and I tell myself I've done so well in a very short while of my life. Sometimes you look at Frank and you look at me and you'll be wondering, who is this supervisor? Because we look alike in terms of for me. Next slide. Thank you so much, guys, and best wishes for the future. I would like to take your questions now.
Wow, Dr. Babajide, this is so awesome, so amazing. I mean, I've gained a lot of clarity, but before that, participants, I just want to apologize for our technical issues before we started the session. So it would just be some minutes beyond 1 o'clock, and then would round up soon.
Yeah.
And Dr. Babajide, please permit me to call you Dr. Commonwealth. That is very important. Yes. I
Yeah,
must say,
that's fine. Wherever. In fact, some people have been calling me Mr. Commonwealth anyway.
yeah, my own is Dr. Commonwealth. Session is very, thank you for being so open, for being so detailed, for being so thorough. Thank you for helping us gain clarity on really what academic leadership and influence is. And thank you for not just coming here to say aspire to perspire. You gave us evidence of how we can do it. Just like you said in essays, they ask for career plan, they ask for all of that, and then we all be like, I intend to, I want to. You know, sometimes we might write, oh, when I come to Nigeria, I'm going to build a university. But it's not until you build a university. Even your research can actually change something. Look at your research converting to a bill in the House of Assembly in Ondo or so. That is so amazing. You've given me a lot of clarity on academic influence and leadership. So I'm going to run through the questions. And
Okay.
the first one says, what do I need to do to ensure I am always motivated?
What do I need to do to ensure I'm always motivated? Is that the question?
Yes, sir.
Okay. I want the person asking the question to understand that the best form of motivation is self-motivation. So when or if you are tying your motivation to something or someone, then you'll be disappointed eventually. You'll be disappointed because one day that source that you have plugged into will probably run dry or will not be there. So what will you do? Will you just give up and that's the end of it? Then your dream is gone. Poof. Well, that is the reason why first you need to find something that you will get fulfillment out of. That is going to be the oil in your engine that drives you. There must be something, whatever task that you've chosen to take up, make sure it's something you love, you are passionate about, it gives you a sense of fulfillment. These three things so key. The moment you find yourself doing this, I can assure you, self-motivation it will be like a fuel that never runs dry. You always find the drive to go on. And then when the impact happens, you smile. And that is what will encourage you as you go on. That is what will encourage you as you go on. So, in my opinion, what will help you stay motivated is you. Find a way to make that source of motivation you. Now, you can have mentors. Mentors will ensure that you are back onto your path. Maybe you are on your path, then you're about to digress, or you're about to get out of your path. The mentors will make sure that you come back in. But to continue to drive along that path, is self-motivation. You must look for a way to motivate yourself. That is the only way. And you must find it.
Wow, thank you so much. So self-motivation, I already put that down in my notepad and I'm going to work on that myself. And everyone that is watching this, make sure you find that self-motivation. Find it for yourself. Another question says,
Yeah.
what is your advice for someone who is just starting up as a fresh graduate?
Oh, good question. So you are starting up as a fresh graduate. That means maybe you are about to start your NYSC, or maybe you just completed your NYSC. Anyone, but you're a fresh graduate. First thing first, what I did for myself, have a meeting with yourself. You need to lock yourself up somewhere alone and have a meeting with yourself. Don't make sure you drive everybody out, lock the door, lock the room, sit down for 2 hours, asking yourself pertinent questions like what? What do I know how to do best? What is that thing that is like a talent that everyone keeps saying, you're so good at this, you're so good at this, you're so good at this. No one else can do this. What is that thing? What is that thing that drives me? What's that thing that makes me happy? What's that thing that gets me excited? I knew instantly when I did that to myself in 2011, 9 years ago, that it was teaching and research. I knew because right from 200 level, my colleagues have been telling me, teach us now. It's like, you know this thing, you sabi this thing, pass us, teach us. So I started teaching. 8 of them I would teach. By the time I got to final year, I was teaching my entire class. My entire class. I would stand in front of them and then we would take up a final year course that was so difficult and I would try to explain it to them. And that was when I started getting wind of the idea that it seems that there is a way I explain complex concepts in a simple, understandable manner, and people will understand. You know, they will just be like, so that is what the lecturer has been trying to say. Oh, I understand it now. And so the moment I discovered that, I knew I was going to stay in teaching and research. And so when I finished my NYSC and I was at home, 2 weeks after, I just received a phone call from my HOD saying, didn't you hear that FUTA retains their best? Come and take your job. I did not question it because I had made up my mind prior to his phone call that I was going to stay in academia. So it was a confirmation. I just took the job. But if I was confused or I didn't know what I was going to do you know I could say no to that option? And there was another option right in front of me, which was a bank job. But I said no to it because I knew it was not an option. So you need to have a direction by going into your locker room and having a meeting with yourself. When you have a meeting with yourself and you come to terms with what you want to do with your life, because it's your life, and don't allow others to push you, force you. Because if you look like you don't have a direction, everybody would feel the need to advise you. If you look like you don't have a direction, everybody will feel the need to advise you. Oh, come and start a journey to Kebbi. Then you start without thinking twice about whether it's Kebbi you really want to be at. Oh, come and start a journey to Abuja. You start. So you need to lock yourself up somewhere and come to terms with what you really want to do. And then afterwards, you would know what to do next with your life, whether it's a scholarship or it's to get a job, and in what sector. And you start preparing yourself. Then you start to draft your immediate goal, your medium-term goal, and your long-term goal. I had a long-term goal to end my PhD in 10 years. In 2011, guess what? I ended it in 9 years in 2019, even less. I ended it before the 10th year. So these things are possible. You just need to plan ahead and have a fixed goal on what you want to do. That's it.
Okay, wow, that is so amazing. I still have my own questions, but I'd want to run
Okay.
through first. Someone is asking, are there opportunities to be mentored by you?
Oh, yes, of course. In fact, I have a mentorship platform. It's just that these days I've been extremely busy. I won't lie to you. I've been extremely busy. So the mentee needs to help me. Now, if a mentee is looking for someone that will breastfeed you, as you can see, I don't even have breast, no pair of breast here. If you are looking for someone to breastfeed you, I do not have a pair of mammary glands to give you. So you need to help me. If you want to work with me, first of all, you must be serious-minded. You must be willing to participate, do some parts that involves you. There is a part where you must take action. I won't take action on your behalf. So what I will do is I'll be giving you tips. Okay, you need to do this, you need to do that, and you need to do this. And that is how I would put you through, but I won't be the one to do the job for you. But yes, there's a way. I even have a mentorship platform on Telegram. So after the event, I can share it with you guys. There's no problem at all. You can come on board and then we can always discuss. In fact, on this mentorship platform, it's a web of social interactions. I don't always have to advise. People advise each other. It's called scholarage. They advise each other. I only come in once in a while. They talk to each other. So you probably do not even need me. You just need someone that has an information that you lack. That's it.
Yes, wow, this is so nice. And if I were the person asking this question, one thing I would do is to go to LinkedIn and connect with you immediately.
All right.
So another question.
Okay.
When is the best time of the year to apply for scholarships abroad?
Oh, well, the best time is a year before the scholarship itself. So if you have read through the scholarship webpage and you discover that it starts in September, you need to start preparing from this year, September. If you are interested in applying next year, September, a year long. You know the reason? It is because most of these scholarships are a year long. Where from the point of application to the point of departure, leaving the country, it's a year long. So you yourself need to start the process of application a year before application. That means 2 years before departure. So in my opinion, it is so good for you to start ahead of time. Start downloading materials before the scholarship is out. Some people will visit the webpage and start saying, it's not out. Yes, we know, but download, read up on it. You hear it's not out, then they go to bed. It's not out yet, then they go to bed. No, it's not out, but take notes. Write it down. What are the things you need? I need this, I need that, I need this. So start getting them down before time. So that once it's time, everything will be rapid. There will be nothing left behind, especially transcripts that can take a long while, or your referees that to convince them, or to reach out to them and all of that, you need time. So you need to give yourself a head start. That's my advice.
Okay, awesome, doctor. Thank you so much. We have just 5 minutes to go, but we'll still try to cover all of
Okay.
this. So Success is asking, Success, I like your name. Must your volunteering work be in the area of your prospective work? I am finding it difficult to volunteer in my area of anticipated profession, industrial/organizational psychology.
Okay. Imagine that you are applying, let's say, for Masters in Public Health, and then they are asking you, like Commonwealth now, you applied for a master's degree in for public health through the Commonwealth, and then you get to the section that says leadership and voluntary experience. If your experience is not in the health sector and it's not towards public health, it's not tailoring towards the area of public health, it means it's not relevant to what you're applying for. So that answer that question has been answered in the question itself, because you need to have an experience, whether it's work experience or it's voluntary experience, in that discipline or area you are interested in, you are proposing. Because that is what will convince the sponsors to give you the scholarship. They'll say, oh, this person, okay, has good experience, so let's give him. So if you are struggling, then perhaps you should think about that option you are choosing. Maybe that option is not the right option for you. If you are trying to apply for a master's and you have absolutely no work experience, internship, or voluntary experience that is relevant to it, then why are you doing it? Why are you doing it? It means over time, you have spent your time doing something else. Maybe that's your new love. And you need to forget about old love. Old things have passed away. Behold, all things have become new. So maybe you need to have a rethink about your study option. That's my advice. For example, that London Metropolitan University scholarship that I got, it was for biomedical science. Do you know why I got it? My essay, I showed that my 6-month internship was spent in a medical lab as a medical lab intern. And I showed them that I spent 6 months learning 30 diagnostic tests in the lab, MP and all the likes, including PT, the pregnancy test that some of you know. PT. So, you know, I did everything, including the HIV. I learned everything. And on paper, I was just explaining all the techniques. It was so convincing. They picked me amongst 9 people globally. It was so convincing. So you must show something that shows strength, whether it's work experience, internship, or voluntary experience. If it is not matching with the course you're applying for, change that course. That means you don't have enough background, that is sufficient. You are not a good fit, to study that. You won't be able to prove that you are a good fit to study that course.
Yes, permit me to add to what you've said.
Yes.
Success, if you are trying to look for a volunteer role in this, and that is your area of interest, sometimes you can reach out to your lecturers and your professors in your department, because it's a network. They would know people that probably have this kind of organization that you want to join. So that is an area you can explore. And because we're really, really behind schedule, I'm just going to ask, we're really, really behind schedule. So I'm just going to ask this last question, because I know that a lot of us currently suffer from it. You mentioned information overload. How
Okay.
can we handle information overload? Just within maybe 1 minute, your response, so that we don't take it for
It's
too long.
very simple. Be strategic. You don't need to have access to everything. You don't need, just be strategic in the way you look out for information. First thing, why are you seeking the information? You're seeking for information because you need to do A. When you get out there, find the information that will help you answer A. The moment you get it and you know it's a credible source, stop. Have that ability to stop, pause, stop, and move on and say, I'm done. I've had enough of this information. Let me go. Because if you don't stop at some point, what will happen is you take this one, then the next one becomes appealing, the next one becomes fascinating, you keep going, then you have a mental overload. And sometimes people applying for Chevening face this, because you go on YouTube and you find loads of videos on Chevening. Everybody who wins Chevening has a YouTube channel. Everybody. They want to inspire you, to tell you how they did it. Then you go there and then you read up from Temitope, from James, from Abraham, from Babajide. Then you start getting confused, because this one will have a different approach that worked for him. This lady will have a different approach that worked for her. In a nutshell, you will soon discover that there is no single approach that works. There is no single unifying approach that works. Then you get there and you are looking for one approach. Then you become confused. Then you come back to your sheet of paper and you say, where will I now start from? Where will I now start? Information overload. That's the problem.
Wow. Thank you so much, Dr. Babajide.
Stick to two and respect their information enough, and stop. And don't listen to Babajide. and don't listen to Temitope and go away and leave YouTube. That's how you manage it.
Oh, thank you so, so much, because I know a lot of us are actually going through that. And this session has been so amazing. It has given so much, I don't know, yeah, personally, I've gotten so much clarity, particularly with leadership and academic leadership. Thank you so much, Dr. Babajide. And I'm sure the
Thank you
participants
very
right
much.
now
Thank you
is
very
saying
much.
a lot of thank you to you. So I don't know, you have last words for us? Yes, me too, me included.
Last words, last words. Well, I don't have last words because I will always keep talking. So it's not a last word. It's like a dying wish. What's your last word? Before
Oh,
you
okay,
before
last
you die.
words
No.
for this
So
session.
pattern words.
Oh,
I would say my
parting words.
pattern word.
That's a better one.
I would say is never give up until you win. I always say that all the time. And I mean it. I am a function of us. Let me say, I am a product of that statement. Never give up until you win. Just keep going, keep trying, keep trying. Like my friend said, Dr. Emmanuel, yesterday, he said, rejection is a love letter. It's true. Rejection is a love letter. Fine. Develop a thick skin. It's normal. I have received 2 rejections this year. Me, that you think I am one big gun. I know be big gun. I still receive rejection. I've received 2 this year. 2. Okay, actually, not 2. The first one was a rejection. The second one was a reserve. I was placed on reserve. I'm still on the mountain praying that they should take me out of the reserve. I'm still on the mountain. But anyway, what I'm trying to tell you, I'm just like you. I'm not different. What's the difference? I don't give up. I'm a hard worker. Never give up until you win. That's my parting words for you guys.
And we are all winners as long as we don't give up. So you that you're listening to this and you that you're going to watch the replay, never give up. This summit has been nothing short of amazing. It has been so amazing for me personally. And I must still say thank you to all our speakers that have volunteered to do this for us. Thank you so much. And I hope you join no, I don't hope. I know you will join the evening session by 6 o'clock.
Oh,
Can't wait.
definitely. I'll be following. Why will I not join? We, the planners, they will not join. Haba. I will
Every
definitely be there to,
make sure you
yeah, I'll
join this.
definitely
And
join.
don't forget to share with your friends. Share the link with your friends. That is important. When you win with your friends, that is when it is more exciting. So till 6 o'clock. Bye. My name is Faidat. Bye.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you. Thank you so much, guys.